Welcome to John's Maths book. In this video, we're going to be looking at adding mixed numbers. So what is a mixed number? Let's see an example. The example 5 2/7 is a mixed number. A mixed number has an integer part and a fraction part. An integer is a whole number, so in this case, it's 5. The fractional part in this case is 2/7. In a mixed number, the fractional part has to be a proper fraction, and as we've seen in other videos, a proper fraction is where the numerator is less than the denominator. So let's look at how we add mixed numbers. So let's look at an example of 3 1/3 added to 2 1/6. So the first thing we have to do is to convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. The way we do that is multiply the integer part by the denominator, add the numerator, and then divide it all by the denominator. So for 3 1/3, it's 3 times 3, which is 9 plus 1, which is 10, divided by 3. So that gives us 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. That's divided by 3. And then for 2/6, it's 2 times 6, which is 12, plus 1 is 13, divided by 6. Now we need to find the common denominator of these two improper fractions. So we can just multiply the two denominators together, but that won't be the lowest common denominator. So the lowest common denominator in this case can be found by looking at the multiples of each of the denominators. So multiples of 3, so 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, and then some multiples of 6 would be 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. So as we can see, we have a common one here of 6. So the common denominator, the lowest common denominator in this case, is 6. So if we draw a fraction bar here and add in the common denominator of 6. Now we know how to calculate the numerator because we looked at it when we added fractions. So we say we take each of the denominators in turn and we divide it into the common denominator and multiply it then by the numerator. So dividing 3 into 6 gives 2 multiplied by 10. So 3 into 6 gives 2 times 10. And then added to 6 into 6 goes once. So it's 1 times 13. That equals 2 times 10 is 20 plus 13 divided by 6. That equals 33 divided by 6, because 20 plus 13 is 33 divided by 6. So now we have an improper fraction. So we now want to create a mixed number out of that proper fraction. So we divide the denominator into the numerator and see how many times it goes exactly. So in this case, 6 goes into 33 exactly 5 times with a 3 remainder, because 6 times 5 is 30. So that will give 5 as the integer part, so 6 into 33, 5 times 3 remainder. So 3 remainder, 3 is the remainder divided by 6. Now we can simplify 3 divided by 6 even further, because the value of 3 goes into 3 once, the value of 3 goes into 6 twice. So that will be 5.5. Let's try some exercises now. So for exercise number 1, let's add 2 1/7 to 3 1/4 or 3 1/4. Pause the video now and see if you can work out the correct answer. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is convert both mixed numbers into improper fractions. So for 2 1/7, it's 2 times 7, which is 14, plus 1, which gives 15, divided by 7. And then we add that to the improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, divided by 4. Now we find the common denominator of these. So we want to find the lowest common denominator. So we want to find multiples of 7 and multiples of 4 and the lowest one. So in this case, the lowest common denominator is 28. So now we divide 7 into 28, which goes 4 times, and multiply it by the original numerator, which is 15. So it's 4 times 15 plus 4 divided into 28 goes 7 times, times 13. So this equals 60. 4 times 15 plus 7 times 13, which is 91, divided by 28. And that equals 151, which is 60 plus 91, divided by 28. Now we have to convert this improper fraction into an integer part and a proper fraction part. So 28 goes into 151 5 times exactly. So our integer part is 5, and we have a remainder of 11. So it goes in 5 times the remainder of 11, so it's 11 over 28. And that's our answer, 5 and 11/28. So for exercise 2, let's add the following mixed numbers. So 1 1/3, so 1 1/3 plus 2 1/5. Pause the video now and see if you can work out the correct answer. So hopefully you got the correct answer. So let's start by converting the two mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 1 1/3 converts to 1 times 3 plus 1, 4/3, added 2. 2 1/5 converts to 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 1, which is 11, divided by 5. Now let's find the common denominator when we add the two improper fractions together. Common denominator, or the lowest one, in this case is 15. As we know, we can work out the common denominator by multiplying the two denominators, but that won't necessarily give us the lowest one, but in this case it does. So now we work out the numerator. So we have 3 into 15 goes 5 times, multiplied by 4. So 5 times multiplied by 4 plus 5 into 15 goes 3 times, multiplied by 11. So 3 times 11. So 5 times 4 gives 20, plus 3 times 11 gives 33, divided by 15. So that gives us 53 divided by 15. So that's an improper fraction, so let's convert it to a proper fraction and an integer part, which will be our new mixed number. So 15 goes into 53 exactly 3 times with a remainder of 8. So 15 times 3 is 45. So it goes in 3 times. So our new integer number is 3 with an 8 remainder divided by 15. So hopefully you got the answer of 3 and 8/15. So for exercise number 3, let's add the two mixed numbers 2 and 1/7. So 2 and 1/7 to 1 and 1/6. 1 and 1/6. So pause the video now and see if you can work out the correct answer. So hopefully you got the right answer. Let's work through the answer. Work through to the answer. So first of all, we convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 2 and 1/7 gives 2 times 7 plus 1, 15 over 7. Plus 1 and 1/6 gives 1 times 6 plus 1, 7 divided by 6. Now let's find the lowest common denominator. In this case, it's 42. Multiples of 6 and multiples of 7 both make 42, and that is the lowest common denominator. So let's work out the new numerator. So we have 7 divided into 42, goes 6 times, multiplied by 15. So it's 7 into 42 goes 6 times 15, plus 6 into 42 goes 7 times, multiplied by 7. So that gives 6 times 15 is 90, plus 49, 7 times 7 is 49, divided by 42. So if we add 90 to 49, we get 139 divided by 42. Now 42 goes into 139 exactly 3 times with a remainder of 13. So the integer part of the new mixed number is 3. The remainder part of 13 is the new numerator of the fractional part, divided by 42. And that's the answer. So for exercise number 4, let's add 2 and 2/5. And we'll add that to 1 1/4. Pause the video now and see if you can work out the correct answer. So hopefully you got the correct answer. So let's convert the two mixed numbers to improper fractions. So the first one, 2 and 2/5 is 2 times 5 plus 2 gives 12. Divided by 5, plus 1 1/4 gives 1 times 4 plus 1, 5, divided by 4. So now let's find the common denominator, or the lowest common denominator. In this case, it's 20. It can be 5 times 4 or lower than that, but in this case, 5 times 4 is the lowest one. So now if we find the new numerator, we do that by dividing 5 into 20, goes 4 times, and multiplying it by 12. So 4 times 12 plus 4 into 20 goes 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 times 5. And if we write this over here, that will equal 4 times 12 is 48, plus 5 times 5 is 25 divided by 20. So 48 plus 25 is equal to 73 divided by 20. So that's an improper fraction. So how many times does 20 go into 73 exactly? So 20 multiplied by 3 gives 60, and we have a remainder of 13. So the new integer part is 3 with a 13 remainder. So remainder 13, and that is divided by 20. So the answer is 3 and 13/20. So that concludes this video on adding mixed numbers. If you liked the video, then please share, like, and subscribe. The next video will be subtracting mixed numbers.